Hey guys, it's Sam. One of these days, I feel like it really might happen, but not today. I'm not coming to you with my life together, and I don't know. I guess that's just the story of my life this year. This is not all the books that I am using. If you are familiar with this year's planner situation, I have a couple of other books. But as I knew was going to happen, I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. So I thought maybe we could talk through that today. So if you're interested in a chatty video, then you found the right channel. Hi, my name is Sam. If you are new here, I have been, I guess, mostly between Hobonichi Weeks and Personal Rings for a while now. And they're usually in my planner lineup. If you are coming back, thank you so much for sticking with me, especially this year. I really appreciate it. So my planner system, these are my two planners. These are my two planners, and then I have a couple of other books. And I think just keeping up with everything has been what the struggle is. And I knew that that was going to happen, but I also was kind of, I don't know, it kind of happened organically that the other books kind of piled in. So the Hobonichi Weeks has been like my memory planner because this is the book that keeps the whole year together and I really love looking through it. The Personal Rings is like my chaos management. And then I have a pocket daily Moleskin, and that has been like my diary for the year. And then I ended up adding a soft cover large daily Moleskin that was my kind of fitness, exercise, food book. And then I also have a standard size TN with just one insert that I'm currently using, and that's kind of been my junk journal. Maybe I should have brought these all together. Maybe I should. Hold on. Okay. Oh, this is a peek inside my brain. So these are like my extras. Let me put my coffee back on the warmer. I always think I'm going to drink more of it when I'm doing videos, and then I don't. Okay, I have lotion on my hands, so sorry. Okay. The daily pocket I initially got this year because I suck at journaling. I don't suck at journaling. I suck at journaling frequently, like as a daily habit. And so I figured I really like the size, and of course I have this beautiful cover for it, and it was a small space, and that I would stick to journaling, which I have for the most part. I do have some empties, but most days I have journaled in here. I just kind of put a snippet of something for the day, and then the weather and my workout I'll put on this line above the weather. And so that's really easy to keep up with in the evening, which was the whole point. But then I have been, okay, so I guess very short story. I was keto for I guess a year and a half. I was keto for a year and a half, went away from keto, went back, went away. We're back with keto. And so I'm really trying to refocus my health goals and get back to losing about 25 pounds or so. And so I thought, okay, well, I don't have enough room in this little guy to do all of this. So initially I made an insert in the Traveler's Notebook, and I was using that. But then I stopped doing that because the TN was meant to be kind of a when I feel like it thing, but then I wanted more consistency since I'm caring about my health journey daily. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get something that I can force myself to use daily. And now I feel like this is too much room. And I really feel like it would have been better had these two kind of been swapped. Because I'm going to have way less to say about, what, even if which I don't, go over like, this is what I ate today or whatever. Just thoughts, feelings, notes from podcasts and things. And that's the other problem with this, is because this stays at home in my bag, in my bedroom. And so does this. And so does this. Can you hear Pluto jangling his little bell? So these things don't come everywhere with me. So that kind of holds me up. I don't want to do new things because I'm sure that a lot of you have like some just suggestions for something that could like take the place or whatever. But I feel like I definitely have hit the limit of things that I want to buy for this year, and I want to make useful the things that I already have. But I do wish that this had been for my health and wellness and this had been for my journaling, or that I had thought to buy this size for what I need for like my health and wellness. Because what I have found at the end of the evening is that this has generally, personal rings, been what I take out with me. This is what goes everywhere. This is what goes everywhere with me. I'm able to put bills and notes and all the scratch notes and all of the plans, and I have an insert for health and fitness. So technically, this section I could put paper in and completely replace this. But I try to keep my planner from being as chunky as possible. I'm saying that wrong. I try to keep my planner light, and I don't like to chunk up my rings. I don't like to chunk up anything really. But so the idea of like adding more and more and more inserts kind of like stresses me out. But this is what I usually take everywhere with me. Now, I did try to make the Hobonichi weeks like the thing over the last few days, but my brain just really craves the rings. I just find myself, and even if I bring my little notebook, I find myself carrying this and looking at it and, you know, oohing and awing over it, but I panic about writing things down. And I know not everyone suffers from this, and I get that it's just paper, and I get it's just a planner. I don't think about how messy this is, but this is like my precious, and I want it to be as nice looking as possible. And that's not for you, that's for me. And those are like my own homemade rules, and I get that they don't make sense to a lot of people, but that's who I am. You don't have to live with me. So at the end of the evening, I like to spend some time doing things in my books, keeping up with my books. So the rings has been with me throughout the day, and then the Hobonichi weeks, I update it. And of course, that doesn't take a whole lot of time. I update my like cycle tracking in the first section. I'll look over my my monthly to see what's going on or if I need to update that. And then I'll come in the evening and I will put in the weather of the day, and I'll update my tracker, and I'll put in what my workouts were, and I'll check off things that I might have done. And then I put a tiny, 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 tiny snippet of a memory here. This side is for my like appointments, and this is a little tiny memory keeping section. And so I update this, and then I spend a couple of minutes and I update this. And most nights, this is all that gets done. I guess I just don't want to spend that much time on it, but I also feel like I need the other things here for me anyway. Does anybody relate to that? So this one doesn't get used as frequently, and that makes me sad because I really do. I feel like if I had to like rate notebooks, like the Hobonichi, except for the crap paper this year, it's pretty high up there for me. But for me personally, the Moleskin is like, it's the stuff because it's the cream paper. I don't have to worry about what kind of pen I'm using because it's not fussy. I don't care about using a fountain pen in a notebook like this. And I really wish, this is what you get when you come here. I really wish that this would be like my planner for the year, but I know that this doesn't work for my brain. But this book, but in the hardback, is what I use at work. And I kind of just wish that I could make whatever magic happens at work that makes this possible as my like one and only planner at work. I wish that I could make that translate into the rest of my life, because this size, this paper, not having tiny spaces to write in, this is my ideal. I'd like to find a way to make this work. But then I put like really dumb rules on myself because I'll like think, oh, I could just pick this notebook up and make it my planner. But I've used it for other things. So then my brain says, well, if you're going to do that, you have to buy a brand new one. And I realize that's crazy. But that's just a glimpse inside of my head. So yeah, I've not used many pages in this one since it's like supposed to be personal. I'm just trying to see what I have written here. But everything about this notebook is very comfort to me. And so I just really prefer Moleskin. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but coming from, I don't need to use a fountain pen in this book. This is near the top or at the top of my list for books, as far as brands go. That being said, I think this probably could work if they would fix the whole calendar situation. And it doesn't matter as much at work, because at work, I don't usually have things like meetings or whatever happening every day. So I'll go over and spill out of these boxes. But I think that would make me crazy feeling with my personal life, but I could be wrong about that. So I have the soft cover for my fitness and health stuff, and then the hard cover at work for my daily whatever. This is like my little diary. And then this has been kind of my fun book, but I haven't been going anywhere, doing anything. And I haven't really had any Happy Mail or anything. And that is what I had been using this for. So I haven't written as much in here lately, but I will say this too. So I was like, okay, well, I love this paper. These, I guess, would be kind of even for me. And I do use fountain pen here. And so I thought, well, I really do enjoy writing in this, and I really do enjoy writing with my fountain pens, which don't get used as much in my collection. So I thought, well, who made the rule that this was a junk journal? I did. And this was my insert for health, which I should take out of here because I'm not using it. But I feel like if I take it out, then I'll start using it again. And that's how my brain says to do that. But I wanted this to be something that I could chunk up, bulk up, put crap in, write however much I want when I felt like it. But then I feel bad if I'm not consistent in it, which was exactly the point of me having something undated. Yeah. So there's that. I'm just not sure. Like, I feel like I've got too much on my plate as far as like with what I have for books. And then the silly thing is, the first thing I think is not, oh, just use less. It's okay, well then maybe I'm still missing something. So maybe I should still be looking for another thing. And that's not what I'm going to do. But why is that like the first thing that comes to my head? Well, if you don't have it yet, then there's something else out there. And I know that technically I could replace pretty much all of these things with the rings, because the beauty of rings is it can be whatever you want it to be at any given time, and change and rearrange and get new inserts or print new inserts, and then it's a whole new thing. But again, I just have that kind of, a book is a memory and the rings is function. And that is, I think, probably like one of my biggest hangups. And I did for most of the year just use the Hobonichi Weeks and my little Sidekick notebook. And that could work, but I've just been, and again, I believe it is the issue with the paper this year, because even if I let myself get over that the paper is a disappointment, it still affects kind of the happy feelings that are usually associated with me writing in this book. And what I'd really like to do is just find like a regular pen that the nib isn't going to wear down. And I feel like I have all the pens, and I feel like I have tried all the pens, and I don't know that I'm ever going to find my groove with this notebook this year. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to use it anyway, because I already tried this year to throw out the Hobonichi Weeks and not have it be in my life. And I was just so sad about not having this planner that I have just kind of fought my way through still having it in my lineup. So even if, what the heck? So even if this isn't the experience that I wish that it was, I'm keeping on, because I don't want to look back and have this book missing in this year. And I have even thought, like, what am I going to do if this doesn't get sorted out? And I guess I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it, and that'll be at least September when that will be decided. But maybe that does mean that I need to be looking for something else. But for this year, I'm still clinging to the Hobonichi Weeks. But I guess the whole point is that I started feeling overwhelmed, and I was trying to take something out of the lineup. So I did attempt for like a day and a half to remove the rings, just bring in the Hobonichi Weeks and my Sidekick notebook, which worked and then didn't, because I kept thinking of things that I wanted to put in sections here. And one of the things is that I don't have to draw out all of the things. And I have so many of the inserts, and I don't have to go in and home make, something and draw it out in the Hobonichi. And it's just easier. And then my brain knows these sections, and it knows what I want to keep track of. And that is just better for me, because I don't want this hobby to take up that much of my time and attention. I want it to work for me, not the other way around. And I also don't want to have wasted time and wasted money. And so I was like, well, I can always pick this back up. So I set this to the side for a day and a half, and I just took this in the notebook. And then I was like, no, but I want to check this off, and I want to check on this, and I want to put this note with that note. And that's one of the things, part of writing it down is that it helps you remember. But then I also like to file away that information, and rings is the easiest system to do that with. So I thought, well, okay, if I can just keep up with this, but I don't want to abandon this. But sometimes the information is then in this book, and this book, and this book, and this book, and this book. And I just don't want to write things down 5 times. And I feel like all of these things are really good on their own. And maybe it would have been better for me had I not purchased all of these things, but they're here now. I think that the first thing that I would immediately think would be okay to let go would be this. But then I can tell you, when I was a year and a half into keto and my weights and all of that I was doing, then I really was sad that I didn't keep up with that book, even if it was infrequent, because I could have seen how I was feeling, or milestones, or what I was struggling with, or what my successes were in a more detailed way. So I don't want to lose that. And I also feel like I don't have enough space in these pages to do that. And I definitely don't have it to do enough space for in this book. And then that's not the point of this one. I just would like to have less to keep up with, but I don't know what to let go of. I really know that if I didn't have it wrapped in my head that this was function and not memory, that this could replace everything else. And I also know that if I could let go of this being precious with a little notebook on the side for random stuff, this could be everything. But so far, I'm not letting me, or my brain isn't letting me make that happen. So here I have one book that generally goes everywhere with me, or if I freak out about it, 2 books that go everywhere with me, and then these 3 that are in a little caddy, which I will share with you at some point. I just feel like there's not a whole lot going on with it. Just these books and some supplies is what I have, and that doesn't seem very interesting, but I'm still willing to share, just not today. So I guess for the most part, I'm doing much better, because I have my system at least narrowed down. So for right now, it's just letting go of other things when I start to feel stressed and overwhelmed, or I have more going on with my life and less time for this, because I definitely feel like I have creative moods where I think I really want to keep up with this every single day, and this is so much fun. And then I have, a day where I'm like, I just really don't care. And that's where this comes in handy, because it only takes a couple of minutes, and I don't have this is not for fun, really. It's just pen to paper. And most days I can get the energy to do that no matter what's going on. But it's just the fight in my head about whether or not I feel bad about not keeping up with these things, or I don't care about not keeping up with everything. And so definitely I feel like I'm better off than I was in like January and February, but I just feel like there could probably be a solution here that I'm not thinking of. But I don't know that there's any hope for right now either, because I don't want to buy anything else and I don't want to waste any money. So yeah, if you have any thoughts or suggestions about what I could do to like fix this, because I think I've kind of almost just come to terms with the fact that my brain is usually going to fight between these two. And today I might take this with me when I go somewhere, or I might take this, or I might take them both. Most of the time this one lives like beside my bed, because if I don't feel like going and getting these other books to update, the very least I'm going to update this one. And then any little snippet of memory that I leave in the Hobonichi weeks, if I have been really tired, or I had a really difficult week, or I'm on my period or whatever, and I write a little snippet down here, then I have something to kind of jog my memory to write in any of these other things. So I feel like most important to keep up with is the Hobonichi weeks. So I guess there's that. Maybe it would have been better if I had just gotten one of the large, like undated. Is there an undated pocket size? I think there is, but I don't think it's this thick. Yeah, this is probably this is probably just going to be my year, because they're here now. You know, what am I going to do? I don't know. What am I going to do? What would you do? What are you doing? Are you like bouncing? Like, I feel like it's just a little like, what is it? Down the drain. Oh, no, it's not down the drain. I just feel like I keep going in this circle of indecision or the bouncing. And I know from my comments, I know from my messages that it's not just me, but sometimes I feel like it's just me. And even if it's okay to do this, which it is, I just would like to feel a little more settled with a little less things to keep up with. But I've done this to myself. So yeah, let me know what you think and what you're going through. And hopefully it's not exactly like me. So I really appreciate you being here and letting me talk through all of my planner struggles this year. It really does help me. And from the comments, it seems like it helps you guys too. So I appreciate you being here so much. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you don't want to miss out on future videos, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for being here. I hope to see you again soon. Bye, guys.